Now, I got mad respect for this dude, but he didn't even try to be a rapper. The shit just fell in his lap. Meanwhile, I'm over here struggling and shit. What's going on, everybody? It's the Granddad of Granddad Wooly, and you are here again for another edition of CD Case Studies. Today, we're going into the book and talking about one of my favorite artists of all time. He was a staple in the Roc-a-fella crew back in their heyday when they was running shit all up and down the game. We talking about the one, the only, Beanie Mac himself, the Broad Street Bully, Beanie Sigel. So we're going to go open the book right here. We're going to talk about a couple of my favorite albums from Beanie Sigel. Now, he done dropped quite a few, y'all, but I only own 2 Beanie Sigel albums physically, and these are the 2 albums that I would consider these are my favorite Beanie Sigel albums. But, I mean, Beanie Sigel been doing some crazy shit, and think about Beanie Sigel, like I said, the nigga wasn't even really trying to rap. I think Dame Dash said, yo, I think you can rap, you want to give it a shot, and Beanie was like, all right, cool, I give it a shot. Then the nigga blew up. I was like, how the fuck you do that shit, nigga? I've been trying for 10 years, and nobody never came to me and said that shit, and I got bars, nigga. Teach me the ways, Beans. I know you retired, but just teach me the fucking ways. But the first album we're gonna talk about is the debut album that Beans dropped on Roc-a-fella Records, and this shit right here is one of my favorite Beanie Sigel albums out of all of them. And we are talking about none other than The Truth. Burn copy on that ass, because I don't even know how I got this shit, y'all. It just ended up in my book and shit. A lot of CDs just ended up in my book. I don't know if I was just like burning shit from niggas on the low. I don't fucking know, but it's here. Now, this shit dropped in 2000. Like I said, this is the debut album from Beanie Sigel, and this is when Beanie Sigel first came onto the scene. He was just this like tough, gangster, straight up pure gangster rapper out of Philly who really wasn't even a real rapper. He just a nigga who knew how to rap, and it kind of worked out for him. This album contained a lot of dope songs on here. I think it was like 14 tracks all together. Well, 13 because the last track was actually a Jay-Z solo track. It was that song Anything, which is the song that sampled Oliver Twist. I don't know why the hell that shit was on the end of a Beanie Sigel album. I guess it was for promo or whatnot, but I would have been like, yo, nigga, Jay, I know you run the fucking company, but get your fucking song off my album, nigga. That's my debut. You gotta put your shit at the end. The fuck, nigga? I'm closing my shit out. That's what would have been me. But I mean, hey, it's shit. Hey, shit happened that way. The song was dope still. But it's a lot of dope songs with Beanie Sigel on here, especially the debut single and the first one on the album, The Truth. And this one was produced by Kanye West, and this is when Kanye was trying his damnedest to get on the Roc-a-fella squad, more than just a producer. And this is when he first started to get the beats placed and whatnot, but he was really trying to get up in there to rap, and you know what happened in the future after that? Nigga blew up and just surpassed all these other niggas while he was just a nigga giving beats. But there was also production on here from Just Blaze, Bink. He also had Rock Wilder and Buck Wilder. And as far as the features on here, he had Jay-Z, he had Emil, he had Scarface, he had Eve. I think that's pretty much it. He didn't go too heavy on the features. He gave it mostly Beanie Sigel. And this album is fucking dope. I think it's a really solid debut album. I mean, you got songs like The Truth, Mac and Brad, Player, Who Won't What, Raw and Uncut, Die, just to name a few. But it's a lot more. This whole fucking album's pretty much dope, and I think this really showed that Beanie Sigel really just had some staying power, because he was unique, he was just real, he was gritty, he was hardcore, but then the nigga could rap. Like, the nigga literally could rap. We're really not trying to even say, oh, I'm a rapper. He just decided he can do this shit. So if you've not heard The Truth, I gotta say this is one of my favorite Beanie Sigel albums. It's not my favorite of all time from him, but I gotta say this is number 2 for me. But for a debut, this is a solid album. A lot of great tracks on here, great features on here, great production on here. Check this album out if you're looking to get into some Beanie Sigel or just learn about Beanie Sigel back in the day when he first came out. Start with The Truth, because this shit literally, like the title says, it's the fucking truth. So definitely check that shit out. Next time I'm gonna talk about is my favorite Beanie Sigel album of all fucking time, yo. And it's not the next album he dropped. The next album he dropped was, I think it was called The Reason, and that was cool. That was a dope album. But I gotta say, this one right here, this fucking album right here is like legit. Like, I love this album. Like, when I got this album, I could not stop playing this shit. I'm just looking at it for a second because it's so goddamn dope. But here we go. I'm talking about the album that happened right after the Roc-a-fella split happened, when motherfuckers was picking sides and Beans went over with Dame Dash, and as soon as he did that, he dropped this motherfucking album. And I'm talking about the B.Coming. Now, this shit came out in 2006, and like I said, this is my favorite fucking Beanie Sigel album. This album's a classic to me. Like, this album was fucking perfect to me. I can't say anything bad about this album, because like the moment that I got this shit and I popped it in, I was in fucking love with this goddamn project. And it all started with his debut single, Feel It in the Air. Now, let me tell you a story time, y'all. Now, here's the thing. Like I said, the last Beanie Sigel album I had was The Truth, and I really wasn't checking that much with Beanie Sigel because, like, you know, I was just like, I was changing over to my rap styles. I was listening to a lot of underground, and I was getting into the rock and shit. So I kind of like left away from all the, you know, the Roc-a-fella and all the other shit, but I was still keeping my ears to what was going on. But I forget what I think it was Music Choice. You remember Music Choice? I was telling you, you could find some fucking, like, you know, any music video you want almost. So I was scrolling through that shit again, and it said Beanie Sigel, Feel It in the Air. And I was like, yo, I ain't heard no Beanie Sigel in a hot minute. Let me check it out. And it came in with that very just smooth, just saxophone, and just that very just smooth, just like flute, like it's just that real low-key beat, and that feel it in the air, and the smoothness, but just the realness of that beat. And then when it came in with Beanie Sigel, when he just pretty much talked about, yo, he feels some shit's about to go down. He feels like, you know, he's been like getting like played by somebody he thought he could trust, but apparently the motherfucker can't be trusted. And the video for that song was just so fucking dope. They had Method Man up in that video playing his homeboy who was actually a fucking cop on the low, and that song just gave me fucking chills. Like, that song's just so fucking powerful. It's one of them songs that's just like, yo, when you hear it, you just gotta sit still and just soak that shit in, because it's one of the greatest fucking songs from Beanie Sigel I think he's ever done, hands down. Like, that's one of my top 5 Beanie Sigel songs to this day. And that was like, yo, I gotta get this album based off that one fucking song. I heard nothing else about this album. I knew nothing else about this shit, but that song was just enough for me to cop it. And when it did not end with that song. It started off with Feel It in the Air, and I could not get enough of that shit. But when it went into the other songs, I Can't Go On This Way, One Shot Deal, Don't Stop, Bread and Butter, It's On, Want It. And as far as production on here, he had Heavy D, R.I.P., D-Dot, Bink, Just Blaze, the Neptunes, DJ Scratch, Buckwild, and with the features, he had like everybody on this motherfucker. He had Cameron on here, Jay-Z up on here, Young Chris on here, Twista on this motherfucker, Freeway on this motherfucker, Scarface on this motherfucker, Sadat X on this motherfucker, shit, Redman was on this motherfucker, Snoop Dogg was on this motherfucker. Like, it was so many heavy hitters on this motherfucking album. Like, Rel on there, like shit, like this Beans wasn't playing with this shit, yo. And like, for real, I gotta say, like, my favorite song on here has gotta be, I don't fucking know. You got Feel It in the Air. You know, One Shot Deal was fucking crazy. Redman fucking killed that song, yo. I Be Strapped with a double 4-4 and the Slim Jims to Breaking Your Cadillac Door. Oh my God, that motherfucker was going off. Yo, Redman get too slept on. That motherfucker's cold. And then like the song Wanted with Cameron, that shit's so fucking cold. And then one of the greatest beats in Roc-a-fella history, to me personally, the song It's On, D-Dot, he was on the beat for that shit. And I gotta say, if you want to think that beat is fucking cold, you fucking, I don't know what the fuck's wrong with you. That's one of the dopest beats I've ever heard in my goddamn life, especially out of Roc-a-fella era. And yo, like, Jay-Z and Beans just go in on that fucking song. They go back and forth. And it's just like, it's a song that you don't want to fucking end, but like, when you end, you just gotta hit repeat because it's just fucking crazy. But this whole goddamn album, I gotta say, this is Beans' best fucking work. And I think it's one of his most slept on albums. I don't know why, but like, I think like with the whole situation that was going on with Roc-a-fella and the split, it kind of got clouded and all that. But yo, like, if like this album came out when Roc-a-fella was on its heyday, I gotta say this is probably one of the greatest albums in Roc-a-fella's history if it did drop on Roc-a-fella. But it dropped on Dame Dash's temporary label. But yo, I gotta say this, the Becoming, this is a classic. Like, if you ain't heard this fucking album, you are sleeping. Check this out. You will not be disappointed, because Beans is going in on every fucking song, and fucking the features are crazy, production's crazy. This album is a goddamn 10 to me, on point. Nothing wrong with this shit whatsoever. Definitely gotta cop this shit. So yes, Becoming, you better be coming to the store to get this shit. I don't think that makes any fucking sense. It's not the same. We know what the fuck I'm saying. Buy this shit, goddammit. But that's gonna do it for today's CD case studies, y'all. Hope you enjoyed me talking about some of my favorite albums from Beanie Sigel. Now, he's dropped, like I said, a lot more albums after that. You got The Truth, like I said, then The Reason, then The Becoming, and then I think he left Roc-a-fella and did The Broad Street Bully, and then he went back to Roc-a-fella, then he did The Solution, and then he left again, and then some shit happened, and then like he was supposed to drop some shit with Scarface called Mac and Brad. Yeah, Mac and Brad. That was supposed to be an album. I don't know what happened with that. He did some other shit here and there. His voice kind of changed up because I think he got shot. Some shit happened. A whole bunch of shit happened with Beans. He wasn't doing too good. Now he sounds completely different. He sounds like he's got like fucking like hoarse voice, but it sounds kind of dope. It sounds kind of really, he sounds even more menacing than he did before, which is crazy. But I don't know if he gonna come back and do a full-fledged album again. It'd be dope if he did, because I liked him on the Pusha T album. I heard him talking on the Meek Mill disc too, talking about he might come out of retirement. I don't know, but shit, I mean, if I'm hearing some new Beans, why not? But yo, Beanie Sigel is a dope motherfucker. He is a legend out of Philly. He's a Roc-a-fella alumni, and if you have not heard any of his work, especially the albums that I told you about, especially The Becoming, Definitely check that shit out, because Beans is one of the greatest to never try to do it, but yet to do it. Previous videos on the side, some fucking weird. You know what I do, as well as my latest single. Check that out, show us some love. And as always, Twitter, Facebook, SoundCloud, Instagram, links in the description below. And subscribe. Button on the screen, button below, CD case studies twice a week, as well as Willie reviews. Check that shit out. And the gaming channel. And if you're indie anything and want your shit spotlighted, info below. And I got nothing more to say. So until next time I take my leave, Granddad, Beanie Sigel, the CD case studies, the motherfucker's dope. And he didn't even try to be dope, but he was dope by just naturally dope. And now the motherfucker's like one of the best ever out of Philly. Like he's the fucking, like he's the G. And like, yo, like Beans, if you come back, yo, you give me another B.Coming, because I'm bumping that shit right now. That shit's fucking, listen to that shit right now. You gonna know what the fuck I'm talking about, because that shit is fucking crazy. Classic album. I'm out of here.